Hey, what's going on, family? This is Andy Henriquez, and of course, I want to welcome you to the Thursday night Show Up for Your Life motivational live stream. Hey, I've got a message for you tonight, and really, this message is specifically for those of you who find yourself at a bit of a crossroad. Like you are thinking about leveling up, you are ready to get to the next level, you're ready to go deeper in your business, you're ready to go deeper in your finances, you're ready to go deeper in your relationship, you're ready to go deeper in your faith. Listen, you are ready to go to that next level. And maybe perhaps you know that you've been thinking about it, you've been hesitating, you've been deliberating for quite some time, and you know that now more than ever, that now is your time to level up and get to that next level. If that's you, I've got a message for you tonight. So do me a favor, as you're jumping on, put in your city and your state in the comment section so I could go ahead and give you a quick shout out. Put your city and your state so I can give you a quick shout out before we go ahead and get started. And because of the fact that we're going to be getting started and I'm going to be jumping right on in this message, do me a favor. If you believe that you got friends, family members, and people that you believe that could benefit from tonight's message, I want you to go ahead right now and pay it forward and go ahead and hit the share button so that we can make sure that we allow your friends and your family members and the people that you're connected to make sure that they actually catch this message tonight. So fantastic. And I'm going to tell you right now, what inspired this message is when I was at a specific crossroad in my life. So I'm going to say this one more time. This message tonight is specifically for those of you who are at a crossroad. You are considering leveling up. You're ready for that next season in your business. You're ready for that next season in your relationship. You're ready for that next season in your finances. You're ready for that next season in your life overall. And you've been at this crossroad for a while, and you've been thinking about taking a plunge. You've been thinking about getting to that next level, and you've just been a little bit stuck. You've been spinning your wheels. And I want to share something with you that I believe is going to give you a little bit of an insight, because I believe that at all times we fall into one of two categories. And when you can clearly distinguish which category you're in, it makes it so much easier for you to make a decision to get to the next category. So before I do that, let me give a quick shout out to a couple people. I want to say hi to Ross Jones. I want to say hi to Dion. I want to say hi to Christine. Hey, as you're jumping in, put in your city and your state so I can give you a quick shout out. And also, I'm going to ask that you pay it forward, because what I got to share tonight, I know is going to create a lot of impact and it's going to create a lot of clarity for some people. So go ahead and hit the share button so that we can make sure as many people as possible hear this message. So one more time, this message specifically is for those of you that are at a crossroad in life. You are at a season in your life where you're wanting to level up. You want to go deeper in your business. You want to expand your business. You want to go deeper within your career. You want to go deeper in your relationship, in your finances, in all the different areas in your life. And you're just trying to figure out, Andy, how do I get there? And I believe that once you gain clarity as to where you are, it's just like a GPS. Once you gain clarity as to where you are, I believe it becomes so much easier for you to get to that next level. So let me tell you what sort of sparked this conversation that we're about to have tonight. And that's really what I'm going to call it. And so I had a friend of mine that we were having a little conversation today. And so I do an annual toy drive with a group of my friends. It's crazy because we're thinking about, wow, it's already been 10 years that we've been giving out the toys to these different schools. And this year it's over 2,700 kids that received toys as a result of this toy giveaway. But I was talking to my friend, and we were just talking business while we were giving out the toys to the kids and so forth. And we were sort of recapping on my journey. And I realized that there were two times in my journey that I found myself back at the same place. And when I say back at the same place, where I was at the table having to face a very difficult decision. And the very first time that I was facing that decision was back in December of 2004. At that particular time, I was working in corporate America. I was working as a CPA. I was working as an accountant. I was an auditor for one of the big four public accounting firms. And that job, in many ways, was everything that I aspired to. It was everything that I pursued in college, right? They tell you, go to school, get a good education, get a good job. I did that. I went to school in Florida State University. I got my undergraduate degree in accounting. I got my master's degree in corporate accounting. I got my CPA license. And then I landed a job with this amazing firm. But I remember specifically in 2004 being at a crossroad. And what the crossroad was is I found myself really struggling with a difficult decision. And here's what the decision was. I had to make a decision if I was more committed to staying comfortable at this job, or if I was more committed to going after my goals and my dreams. And maybe perhaps you could relate to being at a place in your life where you have created some consistency, being at a place in your life where you've created some comfort, being at a place in your life where you have some familiarity, right? And so if you think about, I had all those things in the career that I was with. It was, first of all, it's where I got my degree in, was in accounting. It was a great company. I knew the people. I knew that for the most part, without, something unexpected happened, I was going to have job security, whatever you want to call that nowadays, right? And so I found myself at a crossroad because I had to make a decision. And the decision was, Andy, are you going to hold on to what's comfortable right now? Or are you going to do something drastic and take a leap of faith and go after your goals and your dreams and release what's comfortable, release what's familiar, to go after the possibilities and to go after your additional aspirations and dreams? And I don't know if you've ever been at that crossroad before, where you had something that was very familiar, very much comfortable, and that you pretty much knew with certainty what the outcomes would be. But then on another hand, you had something that you really, really desired and that you really, really wanted. But in order for you to get it, you are going to have to forfeit. In other words, you're going to have to release and let go of that thing that was already comfortable and very familiar to you. So I remember the first time that I found myself there was in December of 2004. And that's when I was making the decision to leave my job in corporate America and then become an entrepreneur and going after my goals and my dreams. Now, the second time that I was at the exact same crossroad was now that I had left corporate America. And then I got involved with real estate investing, and I built some success as a real estate wholesaler. And I had built a 6-figure business in real estate. And I came to the crossroad again that although I was having success in real estate, I began to have this urge and this desire to then become a full-time speaker and a full-time coach. And so 2 times that I found myself at the exact same crossroad. And if you have ever been at a crossroad before, do me a favor right now in the comment section, put #crossroad, #crossroad. That's just your way of letting me know that you have been at a crossroad before. I just want to make sure I'm not only speaking to myself, right? So I believe that life in one way or another is going to put you at crossroads, places where you have to make a decision. And so I want you to realize that when I look back at my life, I've been there 2 times, major decisions, epic decisions that would ultimately determine the trajectory of my life. And maybe perhaps you are at one of those crossroads right now, Janelle. Maybe you're at one of those crossroads right now, Lionel. Maybe you're at one of those crossroads right now, Austin. Maybe perhaps you're at that crossroad. Now, here's something that I want to share with you, that if you are at a crossroad, it's going to help you to figure out where you are on the spectrum so that you can make a decision if you are going to stay exactly where you are and remain comfortable, or if you are going to go deeper. And you say, well, Andy, what in the world are you talking about? Here's what I want you to understand. Whenever you are at a crossroad, you are going to fall into one of 2 categories. When you're at a crossroad, you are either going to fall into one category that I call being a snorkeler, okay? Follow me with this. Don't allow me to lose you. I promise you, everything I share with you, I'm going to explain in detail so you can follow along. But when you're at a crossroad, you are either in one of 2 categories. You are either what I call a snorkeler, or you are a deep diver, okay? So you say, well, Andy, first of all, let me explain to you the difference between a snorkeler and a deep diver. And so most of you, at one point or another, you probably are at least familiar with what a snorkeler, or somebody who's gone snorkeling, or maybe perhaps you've even gone snorkeling yourself. But for those of you who've never been snorkeling before, you don't even know what snorkeling is, I want to just go ahead and give you a little bit of framework and a little bit of insight, right? So snorkeling is when somebody pretty much gets into a body of water. A lot of times we'll take the ocean as an example, and they put a mask on and they put a little tube into their mouth. And what they do is they stay at the surface of the water, and they use the tube in their mouth to be able to bring in air without having to raise their head. And now they can enjoy the view and look at everything that's underneath them in the ocean without ever having to really bring their head up. But the whole time that they're looking down into the ocean, they're staying at the surface level. They're staying at the very top. You get that? And so I want you to understand that for a lot of us who are at a crossroad or at any particular area in our life, when we talk about our business, when we talk about our faith, when we talk about our finances, when we talk about our relationship, some of us are simply snorkelers. I want you to get that, all right? And when we talk about snorkelers, a lot of us, we're staying on the surface, right? Now, here's the thing. When you stay on the surface, it's pretty comfortable staying on the surface and at the top of the water, okay? I want you to get that. Not only is it pretty comfortable, but you know what? It's not really, depending on where you are, it's really not all that risky, right? If you're going to go snorkeling, right? I mean, there's not too many people that have a fatality as a result of snorkeling. We're just talking about just in general, okay? The other thing is, what's interesting is if you've ever been to a resort or if you wanted to become a snorkeler, I want to be honest with you, it really doesn't take very much time to learn how to snorkel. I mean, you can probably go on YouTube right now and watch a video that is under 3 minutes and get the gist of everything you need to know in order to be a snorkeler. So it really doesn't take much effort for you to learn how to snorkel, and you really don't have to make much of an investment. If you were to go someplace and you wanted to go snorkeling, first of all, you can go and buy, the equipment that you need to snorkel. You could probably spend $20, right? Not only that, but if you went someplace and you wanted to snorkel, and they were charging, they probably wouldn't charge you more than $25, $30, okay? So what I want you to understand is that all stages in your life, we're gonna fall in 1-2 categories. Number one is the snorkeler. I think I gave you a pretty good idea of the snorkeler. The snorkeler stays at the top level. It really doesn't take a lot of time for you to become a snorkeler. Not only that, but when you become a snorkeler, you really don't have to make very much investment, but you are seeing everything at the surface level and you are experiencing everything at the surface level. Now, here's what I want you to get. Whoa, we're about to go deep here. So listen, do me a favor. Go ahead and hit the share button because somebody's got to get this. This is going to change. This is going to be a game changer for somebody, okay? So the first category I explained to you is the snorkeler. Now, the second category is what we refer to as the deep sea diver. Ooh. Well, you say, well, Andy, what's the difference between the snorkeler and the deep sea diver? Well, I want you to understand that the deep sea diver is not satisfied with just staying at the surface. The deep sea diver has a desire to go deeper. They want to experience the ocean at an entirely different level. They want to see things beyond just the surface level. They want to experience things beyond just the surface level. They want full immersion, and they want to go places that most people are not willing to go. That's the thing about a deep sea diver. Now, here's the other thing that's a pretty interesting thing. The difference is, remember I told you a snorkeler doesn't have to make very much investment? But if you want to become a deep sea diver, it's going to cost you something. You're going to have to make an investment. You're going to have to go ahead and register for classes, right? You're going to have to actually study. You're going to have to take some practice dives in what they call closed water. And then you're going to have to take some practice dives in what they call open water. You're going to have to make investments of hundreds of dollars to get your certification. And then if you really want to make this thing something more than a hobby and you want to become an official diver, then you're going to also need to invest in a wetsuit. You're going to have to invest in some equipment. And then if you want to go diving in some of the most beautiful places in the world, then you're going to have to make more investment. So what ends up happening is you go from being a snorkeler where you're just talking about a $20 investment to being a diver where you're talking about hundreds of dollars and even thousands of dollars. Now, here's what I want you to understand, that you can choose to be either one, right? So when you talk about your goals and your dreams, when you talk about your business, when you talk about your finances, when you talk about your relationships, when you talk about your faith, whatever it is, I want you to understand you're normally going to fall in one of these two categories. Either you are a snorkeler and you're just staying at the surface level You are staying comfortable. You're not making very much investment. You're not taking very much risk. And you're getting to see things. You're like, ooh, and you get to talk about all the little cool things you see. Ooh, it'd be really, really cool to write a book. Ooh, it'd be really, really cool to start a business. Ooh, it'd be really, really cool to be in a happy, fulfilling marriage. Ooh, it'd be really, really cool to be able to become a full-time coach or a full-time speaker. What happens is when you're a snorkeler, you're looking at things from afar and you're just simply making observation. And so you're making comments about these things, right? Because you're not really fully engaged in anything. You're just observing. You're just sitting on the sidelines, or rather, you're just floating at the surface level. Now, here's what I want you to understand. There becomes a moment that you need to make a decision. And the decision that you need to make is whether or not you are going to just maintain and continue to be a snorkeler, or if you're going to become a diver. But I want you to be very, very clear on something, that in order for you to become a diver, it's going to cost you something. Like, you're going to have to invest your time. You're going to have to invest your resources. Like, you're actually going to have to make sure that you get some coaching and some training. You're actually going to have to take your hard-earned money and buy the right equipment and pay for the training. You're actually going to have to take your hard-earned money and your time, your resources to do some practice dives, open water dive, closed water dive. Like, it's going to actually cost you something. And so what I want you to understand is that at every point in your life, you have to make a decision as to whether or not you want to be a snorkeler or whether or not you want to be a diver. And really what I want you to understand is when you are at this defining moment, I believe that for most of us, that right now you are in a defining moment. Like, what you choose to do over the next 60 days is going to determine whether your business is going to level up and go to an entirely different level, or if you're going to stay exactly where you're at. As a matter of fact, not just stay where you're at, but begin to contract and backtrack. Like, what you decide to do right now is going to determine whether your finances are going to stay where it's at right now, or whether it's going to quantum leap and get to the next level. Like, what you decide to do right now is going to determine whether or not your relationship is just going to be or if your relationship is going to kick it up a notch. Like, what you decide to do right now. And so you've got to make a decision whether or not you want to be a snorkeler or a diver. Now, here's the thing I want you to understand. Everybody at first says that they want to be a diver. I get it, right? It's way cooler to say that you want to be a diver. You can see way more when you're deeper down in the water. The experience is entirely different. The reward is so much better. And so most people, when you speak to them and when they open up their mouth, they say they want to be a diver. But I want you to understand that when you say that you want to be a diver, you got to be willing to do more than just say you want to be a diver. You're actually going to have to invest more. And so if you want more, you need to invest more. I want you to go ahead and understand that. Put hashtag for me, invest more, invest more. I want you to be clear on that. If you want more in your business, if you want more in your relationships, you want more in your finances, you want more in your direct sales company, you want more clients, you want more in any area in your life. If you want more, then what means is you're going to have to invest more time, more resources. When the snorkeler says, I want to become a diver, the moment they make a decision that they want to become a diver, right there, they also have to make a decision that they're going to be willing to invest more time and invest more resources. So what I'm asking you to do right now is determine in whatever area in your life, in your business, in your finances, in your career, in your relationship, in your faith, in whatever area of your life, I want you to determine right now, I need you to figure out what category are you in right now? And just be honest, like right now, are you a snorkeler or are you a deep sea diver? And if you decide that you want to be a deep sea diver, what I want you to do is I want you to understand that, number one, it's going to cost you something. But understand that if you're willing to pay the price, the experience is something that you won't even be able to explain. And what I want you to understand is once you decide to actually deep dive, it will be very difficult for you to ever be satisfied with just being a snorkeler. It will be very difficult for you to be satisfied with just simply staying on the surface level. I'm telling you right now, in December of 2004, I had to make a critical decision. And the decision I had to make is because I had been kicking around the thoughts and ideas of becoming an entrepreneur and taking a chance on myself and leaving the comfort of my job and going after my goals and my dreams. And I wanted to tell you that for a year and a half, I was just a snorkeler. I was just looking and entertaining the conversation and the idea of actually becoming an entrepreneur. Entertaining the idea and just simply looking and observing and saying, ooh, I want that. Ooh, that's really cool. Ooh, that's really amazing. Ooh, 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 right? So I was just simply at the surface level. And then I had to make a decision. Andy, are you going to continue to be a snorkeler or are you ready to do a deep sea dive? And what I tell you right now, part of me going in and doing a dive, you know what part of that meant? What it meant is that I was going to have to walk into the office of HR and turn in my letter of resignation. What it meant was that I was going to give up my paycheck that was hitting my bank account every 2 weeks. What it meant is that I was going to have to give up the certainty of working my corporate career to go after the uncertainty of figuring out what my calling was and figure out what this entrepreneurship track was even going to look like for me. Let me tell you something right now. The thing that separates snorkelers from divers, I told you, is going to be the investment of your time and also of your resources. But what I want you to understand is what keeps most snorkelers from becoming deep sea divers is fear. And so I want you to understand, I wish I could draw you a diagram right now. If the snorkeler is staying at the top level and the deep sea diver is down here, then the thing that's in between the snorkeler and the deep sea diver is this line that's going across, and that line is fear. It's the fear of failure. It's the fear of things not working out. It's the fear of uncertainty. It's the fear of being criticized. It's the fear of judgment. It's even the fear of success. What if things actually do work out? What if I go down there and then I just only want to stay down there, right? And so you've got to make a decision. So what happens is most of us, we are going to come down to the line. And when you get to the line, you're going to have to make a decision. Do I want to stay at the top and just stay comfortable and use my little mask, my little snorkel mask, and look as far as my eyes will allow me to see and stay comfortable and not have to make very much investment? Remember, you can go ahead and get you a little snorkel a mask for like $20. Go to Walmart, go on Amazon and go order it right now. If you were to go someplace at a resort, you can go snorkeling probably for like $20, $25. Make minimal investment, stay at the surface, stay safe, and just be able to look and observe and make comments about everything that you see below you at a deeper level. Now, here's the thing. At some point, you're going to have to make a decision. Am I a snorkeler or am I a deep sea diver? Now, the thing is, you can't fake being a diver. Either you are or you're not. Either you're willing to make the investment or you're not. Either you're willing to go beyond your fears or you're not. Either you're willing to take the classes and do the requirements and do all the things and buy the equipment, or you're not. There's really no conversation around it. And what I want you to understand right now, when you're at a crossroad, that's what you're facing. There's nothing in between. You got to just look at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, right now when it comes to my business, right now when it comes to my career, right now when it comes to this thing that I'm looking to build, am I going to simply be a snorkeler or am I ready to become a deep sea diver? And once you make the decision that you want to become a deep sea diver, understand that there's no more talking about it. There's no more just playing games. Now you got to pay the price. And I tell you something, one of my friends remind me of this all the time, because I tell you that's where you can draw the line and you get to see who your snorkelers and who your divers are, is now when you get people to make a decision that is going to require them to pay the price, whether it is monetary or whether it is with their time, whether it's through the act of discipline. That's where we get to determine who the snorkelers are and who the divers are. You see, I had to make that difficult decision back in December of 2004 when I was working this comfortable job and I had to walk in there and tell Tammy Klein, hey, I got to come in there and talk to you and turn in my letter of resignation. That was not easy. Let me tell you right now, there was a lot of uncertainty there. There was a lot of fear there. But that was the moment. That was the moment that I launched my entrepreneur career. And I went from being a snorkeler to becoming a diver. That is the last time, December of 2004. And thanks be to God for that, is the last time that I worked a job. It's the last time that I had a job. The last time I had to count on somebody else to give me a paycheck. I'm grateful to say that now that has been a very long time. December of 2004 is the last time. That is the time that I went from being a snorkeler to becoming a diver. And what I have to make you understand is that at that point, when I became a diver, that means that there was no more safety net. What that meant was that I could no longer really see the shorelines. What that meant is there was nothing really for me to hold on to. It meant that I was going to have to invest my time, my resources, my talent, so that I could build up the confidence and so that I could know what to do as I emerged myself and went deeper into the water and deeper into my goals and my dreams and deeper into my passion. And what I'm saying to you right now is there comes a point that you got to stop daydreaming about your goals and your dreams. Stop daydreaming about the position that you want to hit in your company. Stop daydreaming about the relationship that you want to have. Stop daydreaming about the things that you want and make a decision. Am I a snorkeler or am I a diver? And that's my question for you right now. Which are you? Which are you? And I'm going to tell you right now, in different categories, you may be a different thing. One area in your life, you might be a deep sea diver. In another area in your life, you are a snorkeler, or you may not even be in the water at all. And so we got to be very honest with yourself. I'm going to tell you right now, in different areas of my life, some areas of my life, I am a diver. In some areas of my life, I am still very much a snorkeler. You got to be honest with yourself. And so I believe that when you begin to clearly know what the categories are and you know what separates the two, right? One of my friends says this all the time, and I appreciate when he says this, and he's talking about specifically when we're talking about making investments and making investments in ourselves, investments in our dreams, investments in our business. And one of the things he says, and I want you to write this down, he said, Andy, listen carefully. He said, you got to invest at the level in which you expect results. And so what I want you to understand is if you expect big results in your life, if you want to experience business at a deep level, if you want to experience life at a deep level, you want to experience your relationships at a deep level, you want to experience things at a deep level, it is going to require a deep investment financially and a deep investment of your time. Understand that. It is going to cost you something. It is an illusion to think that you're going to be able to go deep without making an investment. It is an illusion to think that you're going to be able to go deep without actually putting in the time, the resources, and doing the things that you have to do to be able to get comfortable with going that deep into your business and that deep. And I'm telling you right now, the dividing line for so many of us is going to be the investment, the time, the resources, and then being willing to push past the fear. You know, one of the best definitions of courage that I ever heard was by this gentleman by Red Moon. And here's what he said. He said that courage is not the absence of fear, but he said courage is the judgment that the thing that you want is greater than the fear. And so what I realize is this, is that for most people who become divers, it's not because they don't have fear, but it's because the thing that they want to experience beyond the fear is more important to them than simply playing safe and allowing themselves to be literally capped off and kept in this little box to just avoid being hurt or going outside their comfort zone. And so I think about this again. Here's the thing. Life has this way of just doing full circle. And so I remember when I left corporate America, it took me forever to make that decision. And finally, when I made the decision, I now immediately got involved with real estate and real estate investing. And then over a series of years, I built a 6-figure real estate business. And one of the things that I tell you right now, which was not the easiest thing, was that when I came to a point in my real estate business and I realized that now I was at a crossroad again, because while I was doing real estate, I was dibbling and dabbling with speaking. I was dibbling and dabbling with coaching. And I realized that I experienced this tug, this physical tug, where I had this desire to start developing my craft of speaking and communicating, and finding opportunities to speak and finding opportunities to coach. And I'm telling you right now, at that point, my income was really from real estate. And I was dibbling and dabbling with the idea of becoming a speaker, the idea of becoming a coach, and the idea of making this decision yet again. And so I had to make a decision again. Andy, are you going to be a snorkeler or are you going to be a diver? And what I realized is that in both scenarios, it was the same thing. I had to make a decision, and then I had to be willing to back up that decision by paying the cost, both monetarily through coaches, mentors, programs, packages, everything I could get my hand on, and also with my time, with studying and going to seminars and working on my craft, right? So I had to pay the price both monetarily and with my time. And so I'm asking you right now, what are you? I mean, are you a snorkeler or are you a diver? And what I want you to realize is that you've got to make a decision. And life's going to not just ask you to make this decision once, but you're going to have to make a decision more than once in different areas in your life. You just got to be, and it's okay. It's okay. If right now you know all you want to be is a snorkeler, then that's fine. But I'm going to tell you right now, here's what I've come to realize, that a lot of times in life, here's what really happens. And I believe this, that if you're listening to me right now, that there's a diver inside of you. And the reason why I say that is because I know specifically that I attract people who are divers. And I also attract people who are divers who are disguised as snorkelers. And so some of you right now, you're staying at the surface level because it's comfortable, and you are trying to convince yourself and convince other people that you're a snorkeler. But I got you figured out. I know you're not a snorkeler. I know you're ready to go deeper. I know that you're ready to go deeper in your business. You're ready to go deeper in your finances. You're ready to go deeper in your relationships. You're ready to go deeper on the spiritual level. Like, you are ready to go deeper. I know this. What you're doing is you're just simply hiding out. You're trying to blend in with the snorkelers. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you're a snorkeler, you wouldn't even stick around this long for this message, because this message would not be speaking to the diver in you. And so you would find a way to dismiss yourself from this message. And so if you're still listening to me right now, the reason why you're listening is because there's a diver in you. Like, you're ready to go to the next level. Like, you're ready to level up. And so the only thing that's really holding you back right now is fear. It's the fear of failure. It's the fear of rejection. It's fear of being criticized. It's the fear that things aren't going to work out. And so what's happening is that fear will start convincing you and have you start making up bogus conversations like, I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I don't know if I can do this. Well, it didn't work out for me before. I don't have the resources. I don't have the accolades. I don't know if I could really make this thing happen. Like, all that is nothing but your fear talking. And at some point, you got to tell your fear to go ahead and shut up, right? And you got to make a decision straight up that you're more committed to being a diver than you are as to hiding out as a snorkeler. Do you hear me? You got to make a decision that you are more committed to being a diver than you are to just disguising yourself as a snorkeler. And so what I want you to understand is, listen, I believe that every single one of us, that we have a unique calling, purpose on our lives. And not only do we have a calling and a purpose on our lives, but we have people who are our assignments. And there will be people who are your assignment that are going to just try to disguise themselves as snorkelers when they are really, truly divers. And I'm going to tell you right now, it is your responsibility that when you sense that and you know somebody is a diver and they're hiding out as a snorkeler, it is your responsibility to lean in and to get them to make a decision and to get them to go from just simply being a snorkeler to becoming a diver, because you know that the diver exists. You know the diver's there. And you got to get them to make a decision so that they can go ahead and go from just being on the surface to getting to that next level. And so I want you to think about an area in your life that you're ready to go deeper. I want you to think about an area in your life that you're ready to experience things beyond just the surface, and that you're ready to go a little bit deeper. And I'm going to tell you right now that perhaps one of the things that's going to make it so crystal clear for you is when you just have to make a decision. You got to decide who you are, and you just need to decide, am I a snorkeler or am I a diver? And if you make a decision that you're a diver, understand that, number one, it's going to cost you something monetarily, and it's going to cost you something when it comes to your time. The other thing is, understand this, that you are going to have to go into the abyss. You're going to have to push past your fear, the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, the fear of disappointment, the fear of criticism, even the fear of success. You're going to have to push past the fear, because everything that you want at your next level, everything that you're going to experience as a deep sea diver is going to be beyond the threshold of fear. You are going to have to push past the very thing that's been holding you back. And the thing that's been holding you back is most likely been a very bogus, you hear me? That's right, a bogus story. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I don't know if I can do this. It didn't work out for me before. All of that is bogus. It's nothing but your fear that is simply showing up. Because here's what's happening. When you decide that you want to become a diver, guess what? You will figure it out. You will find the money. You will find the support. You will develop your craft, and you will make it happen. And you will experience life, your business, and everything that you want at an entirely different level. And so I start off by asking you, which of these are you? And at first you probably were like, Andy, what in the world are you talking about? Which of these, what? What are you talking about? Well, I'm asking you right now, with this area that you are in your life, where in your business, in your finances, your relationship, wherever you are right now, the different areas that you wanna level up and get to the next level, which are you? Are you a snorkeler? Are you a diver? And if you decide you want to be a diver, my question for you is, are you ready to pay the cost? Because it is going to cost you something, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be worth it. When I say it's going to be worth it, like it's going to be ridiculously worth it. Like it is going to be so worth it for you. Like what you are going to experience at this deeper level, the opportunities that are going to come your way at this deeper level, the resources that are going to come to you at this deeper level, the experiences that are going to happen for you at the deeper level when you decide that you're going to go ahead and become a deep sea diver, it is worth tenfold the cost that you will have to pay to experience it. And so I'm inviting you right now, in whatever area in your life that you've been hiding out as a snorkeler, I'm inviting you to pay the cost. I'm inviting you to make a decision. And that's what I'm asking you to do. Make a decision to become a diver so that you can get to that next level. And I can't wait to hear what happens in your life when you make that decision to become this deep, deep diver and you decide to actually level up. Hey, do me a favor right now. If you have been getting some value from this message or something's coming up for you while you've been hearing this message, go ahead and leave me a quick comment in the comment section. I'm going to go ahead and add something else, a resource that I want you to take advantage of. But I want you to add that because I want to go ahead and just sort of read some of your comments right now. What's coming up for you as a result of me sort of sharing this message? Like, where you been a snorkeler or maybe a diver, or are you making a decision to become a diver? I want to hear from you guys. This is something that I think is really, really important for all of us to know. So let me do this. First of all, I want you to text the word show up to, give me a second, I'm typing something here. All right, 278-3701. All right, fantastic. So let me see here. Kevin said, you got to either stay a snorkeler or it will cost you, really, really cost you. Listen, Kevin, let me tell you something. You are so right. Listen, you're either going to stay a snorkeler and stay at the surface level and experience things at a surface level and be able to see cool things from a distance and not really know what it's like to fully experience it and be able to commentate on all the little cool things you got to see. But make no mistake about it, at some point, if you make a decision to become a diver, you got to pay the cost. But I want you to understand, it is so worth it. Like, it is ridiculously worth it. Austin said, yes, this is the key. This is the key. Awesome, awesome. I believe those are the symbols that Austin just threw up there. In different areas, I fit at all levels. Christine, that is a very, very honest response. Yes, some areas in our lives, we're snorkelers, and some areas in our lives, we're divers. Now, the thing is that when you know you're a diver and you're hiding out as a snorkeler, it's time for you to do something about it, right? Or if you keep having conversations and your conversations are leaning towards being a diver and you find that you're still staying at the surface, at some point, you got to stop having conversation and you got to be willing to pay the price. And so that's what I want you to do. I want you to make a decision. You get that? I want you to make a decision. Somebody do me a favor right now, put hashtag decision, hashtag decision. Let me tell you right now, Ben Stein said that the indispensable first step to getting the things that you want out of life is to first simply decide what it is that you want. Decide what you want in your finances, decide what you want in your relationship, decide what you want in your life. You got to make a decision, and I'm asking you to simply make a decision. And what I'm inviting you to do and what I'm hoping to do is to call out all of the snorkelers who are hiding out as snorkelers, who know that it is your time and your season to go deeper. I'm inviting you to go deeper. I'm inviting you to stop making excuses. I'm inviting you to push past the fear. I'm inviting you to level up and do things at an entirely different level, right? Because it's going to be a game changer, and this is your season to go deeper. This is your season to level up. This is your season today, not tomorrow, is your season to take things to an entirely different level. Yes, Austin. Yes, Janelle. Yes, Kevin. Yes, Christine. And I want to give you a resource. I know most of you who are regulars, you jump on here all the time, you already have this. But for those of you who are not regulars, your first time jumping on, I have a quick video training in which I share with you how you can use stories so that you can connect with people, you can overcome their objections, and then get them to take action. You can take advantage of that video training. You know if you've already done this or not. If you haven't, then I want you to do this right now. You're going to text the word show up, all one word, no space in between. If you have an iPhone, it's going to try to split the word show up. Make sure you put a backspace there and connect it, show up, one word. And you're going to text it to 954-278-3701. Once again, you're going to text the word show up to 954-278-3701. And when you do that, you're going to be prompted and cued to do a couple of more steps. And once you follow those steps, you'll get access via text message and access via email of this free bonus training. That's my gift to you. And so I'm really, really curious, and I want to hear from all of you. And hopefully this message did something for you in which you decide to make a decision to go from just simply being on the level to going deeper in your business, deeper in your relationship, deeper in your finances, deeper in all the different areas in your life so that you can experience life more fully and more richly and produce much greater results. And so you've got to make a decision. You've got to make a decision. Are you going to stay at the surface, or are you going to go deeper? Are you going to be a snorkeler, or are you going to be a diver? Hey, listen, everybody, I thank you so much for tuning in and joining me. If you got value from this message, make sure you go ahead and hit the share button, because I know that there's somebody you're connected to that's going to get tremendous value from listening to the replay of this message. I thank every single one of you for tuning in. Thank you so much for being part of the Show Up For Your Life Motivational Live Stream. And of course, we have Christmas coming up. So I want to wish every single one of you a very, very Merry Christmas. I hope that you use this time to really reflect on the true reason for the season. I know that this is around the time that we try to dilute Christmas. You go different places. People are just saying happy holidays. People are just trying to snorkel around it. But let's not forget what we're doing. We are celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ, and it is Christmas, and this is the time that you don't just think about the gifts and the things that you're going to receive, but also think about who are the people that you can actually bless. And so I hope that you have an extraordinary Christmas with your friends and your family members, that you make great memories. And also, I want you to be very mindful that this is also a time that, even though many of us will be with our friends and our family, this is also a very difficult season for a lot of people. There's a lot of people that they are reminded around this time about the fact that they've lost someone who's very important to them. They're also reminded around this time in this season about being lonely and they don't have people around them. So if you can, this is a great time for you to open up your doors if you can and love on somebody who maybe that this is a season that they're reminded about a loved one that they lost, that they're being reminded that they don't really have any friends and family. This is a great opportunity for you to not just think about all the gifts and the things that you're going to be doing. Like, I get all that. We do the gift things and all that stuff too. But this is a great opportunity for you to find an actual need and fulfill the need. And for you to find somebody and not worry about giving them a gift, but a physical gift, but giving them the gift of love this around this time of year, and just opening up the door of your home and letting them come into your house and fellowship with you and your family and love on them and let them know that they're loved and they're not forgotten, and be with them if it's a moment, a difficult moment, a grieving time for them. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And I want to thank every single one of you for tuning in and joining me for the Thursday night show of Feel Like Motivational live stream. I will see you very soon, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. I'll talk to you soon. God bless. All right, fantastic. Lewis, can you hear me?